Hey guys, thank you for watching the SlatRock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And if you've already done so, just make sure that it's still active. Today we've got some really exciting news as Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are announced as WWE Executive Directors. Here are some reasons why Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff will succeed given their track record. Now, Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff may have been two of the biggest players of the Monday Night War, but this week the pair have made history once again. Whether it was the low pay-per-view ticket sales or low attendance for both Raw and SmackDown, or gigantic competition from AEW, or the XFL, or maybe a combination of all of these reasons, WWE recently announced that these two will be working as executive directors of the main roster, with Heyman taking Raw and Bischoff taking SmackDown in a role that will see both legends answer directly to Vince McMahon. Unlike their past roles as on-screen general managers, the title of executive director is very real, and according to reports, it's been a long time coming. An exclusive by PW Insider has revealed that WWE has been courting Heyman for the job for years, as many cite the advocate for the Beast Brock Lesnar as having one of the best creative minds in wrestling, and quite frankly, I agree. An offer was made to the ECW promoter to join the creative team this February, and though no deal was signed, Heyman has been working with some of WWE's top stars, including Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, and Alexa Bliss. Though getting Heyman on board as executive director of Raw has been a long time coming, the same can't be said for Bischoff, who, according to reports, only recently agreed to the change. It was only a few weeks ago when Eazy-E was working on the upcoming Hulk Hogan Netflix biopic and was taking appearance bookings, many of which he has since cancelled. With Bischoff taking the reins of SmackDown, it's obvious he will be a part of the Blue Brand's move to Fox this October, as the controversial WCW star has proven he can handle the pressure, working closely with Turner Broadcasting, Spike TV, and other huge networks in the past. It's quite staggering to see why these guys have accepted such large positions in WWE after both have stated in several interviews that they don't want to do anything like that anymore. Either Vince promised a lot of freedom or a lot of money, or perhaps both. With so much responsibility being put on the two, many fans are wondering why COO Triple H wasn't considered for the role. And though the game does have some creative control on the main roster, it seems he's happy working as the maestro of NXT. It's unclear what the executive director role means for the pair on screen, as Heyman is expected to continue his work as Lesnar's advocate, and though it's unclear whether Bischoff will appear on the Blue Brand, it'd be a real waste for WWE to not use the charismatic star in front of the camera. With Bischoff taking SmackDown and Heyman taking Raw, the two will be in competition once again, as older fans will recall the early 2000s when the two were both general managers, and though Bischoff did big things on Raw, the majority of fans would argue that SmackDown was the better of the two shows for the following reasons. 1. Paulie respected the roster. The network the show aired on, UPN, had grown hopeless at the lack of star power on the show, as well as the sagging ratings. Heyman's task was to placate those in charge of the network, something that he was more than capable of doing. All he needed was for WWE to show a little more faith in the SmackDown brand. At a time when SmackDown was under serious threat, Paul pulled the proverbial iron from the fire. Effectively, his diligent work saved the show from fading and eventually being put on the WWE scrap heap. Though Heyman was at first hesitant to take on the SmackDown GM gig following the demise of ECW, the legendary promoter's tenure between July 2002 and February 2003 was a huge success, primarily down to the roster. It was Heyman who gave rookies like John Cena, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar their big breaks, as well as exciting cruiserweight action thanks to the likes of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. While the Blue Brand was full of fresh new faces, there were still plenty of established wrestlers on the show, as fans could tune in to see the exciting style of Edge, the incredible ability of Kurt Angle, or the ruthless tenacity of a rookie Lesnar. It was Lesnar who had become SmackDown's biggest star, winning the WWE Championship months into his career, a title he would hold on 3 dominant occasions before leaving the company in 2004. Bischoff's Raw, on the other hand, wasn't building new stars anytime soon, as the show was dominated by multiple world champions like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Goldberg in favor of younger and arguably more popular talent. According to Paul Heyman himself, he managed to turn SmackDown's fortunes around during this time. Live event business was up, merchandise was selling well, and ratings increased. Generally, aided by giving fans exactly what they wanted to see, there was much more of a buzz surrounding SmackDown than Raw. Number 2. Paulie's sensible booking. In 2019, fans have grown tired of 50-50 booking, seeing a feud where superstars trade wins and losses to the point where they are meaningless, such as the recent Cesaro and Ricochet feud. With Heyman at the reins though, this may change, as the ECW promoter proved he understands booking during his time as SmackDown's creative genius. Rather than 50-50 booking that would bore crowds, Heyman thought things out, and no one benefited from that more than the Beast incarnate. Debuting in WWE the night after WrestleMania 18, Lesnar would dominate SmackDown, boasting an 8-month undefeated streak where he would beat legends along the way. His first legendary victim would be the immortal Hulk Hogan, who, throughout his career, both in and out of WWE, had been counted on by fans as an unstoppable force. Meeting on the August 8, 2002 edition of SmackDown, Lesnar demolished the icon with ease and would do the same just weeks later against The Rock to capture the undisputed title. Defeating The Undertaker down the line at Hell in a Cell, Heyman's sensible booking helped create Lesnar into an overnight sensation, as the booker knew that the best use of these veterans was to build the next generation of superstars. Number 3. Giving everyone something to do. WWE may today boast arguably its best roster ever, but that doesn't mean too much to the superstars who are barely being used. During Heyman's tenure as head of creative for SmackDown, it seemed everyone had something to do during the show, pleasing all manner of fans. From the top stars like Lesnar and Angle, to lower talents like Jamie Noble and Tajiri, everyone had something to do, something that may be crucial in WWE today. If nothing else, Heyman needs to make sure to use as many superstars as he can on Raw, or risk losing stars to AEW, which is the last thing WWE needs. Unlike Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman wouldn't play with the careers of professional wrestlers, so it's logical to mention that he will better handle not only the main roster superstars, but the NXT call-ups as well. So we've looked at Heyman's strengths, but let's be fair to Eric Bischoff, he's also done great things both in and out of WWE, which will be great assets for the former WCW star in his new role. One key thing Bischoff has been known for in his career is his ruthlessness, as Eazy-E has shown in the past he has no problem doing whatever it takes to get ahead of the competition. During the Monday Night Wars, Bischoff dominated WWE for over a year, at one point giving away spoilers to the pre-taped Raw during the live Nitro to stop fans from changing channels. A ruthless act by Bischoff, this only stopped when the leaks spectacularly backfired, as when WCW announced that Mick Foley was set to become WWF champion later that night on Raw. An estimated 600,000 homes tuned in to see Mankind's huge win. Joining WWE in 2002 after the demise of WCW a year prior, Bischoff quickly fit into his role as Raw general manager, constantly pushing the envelope with his stories. While many of these would backfire, such as HLA with Stephanie McMahon or the infamous Katie Vick angle, Bischoff would provide some of WWE's best moments. Not only that, Bischoff's natural heel heat made him one of wrestling's most despised villains at the time, helping to elevate anyone who opposed him into becoming a beloved babyface by the crowd. With all this going for him, Bischoff could definitely do great things now as the executive director of SmackDown, and with the Blue brand making the move to Fox Sports in just a matter of months, October may be the perfect time for Bischoff to breathe new life into the company's B show. Although we've had great moments during Eric's time as Raw's GM, it's fair to say that his ruthlessness was missing indeed, perhaps due to Vince McMahon. Now, we've looked at what both Heyman and Bischoff can bring to their new roles, but what else should fans expect from the duo? One thing that both men will need to do is stand up to Vince McMahon. As though he may be the man responsible for WWE in the first place, the chairman isn't currently the most popular man with the fans. Now, this may be easier said than done because it's ultimately Vince who will have the final say on the shows, so hopefully the pair will be able to effectively plead their case when they disagree with the chairman of the board. Both Bischoff and Heyman should also be prepared to do whatever it takes to take on AEW, as the rising promotion continues to go from strength to strength and has already amassed a huge audience from just a handful of shows. With even bigger events planned for later this year, both executive directors will need to be on their game to compete with the Cody Rhodes-led promotion. Most importantly of all, though, both men need to learn from their mistakes, as though they may be seen as icons of the Attitude Era, there are reasons why both WCW and ECW went out of business all those years ago. Bischoff's favoritism with certain stars, especially top talents like Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall, eventually was a key factor in the company's downfall, as creative control by top talents, who essentially used their friendship with Bischoff to get whatever they wanted, quickly led to WCW's demise. With this in mind, it'll probably be in everyone's interest for Eric to maintain a professional distance from his roster in 2019, booking them to the best of his ability without getting too close. Heyman's main issue during ECW came down to money, and though the legendary booker now has a ton of cash to invest in Raw thanks to WWE, the former Paulie Dangerously will have to keep working on how to keep the product fresh. This may be Heyman's biggest task as the executive director of Raw, as with the show being on the air for over a quarter of a century, it's hard to think of storylines that haven't already been done. Keeping things fresh will certainly be a concern for both men, especially at a time when many fans' biggest issue with the Red brand, and WWE as a whole, is how stale it feels. Whatever the two have planned in their new roles as executive directors, expect some big changes in WWE very soon. So guys, this is really exciting news. I woke up to this morning and it made my day. And I would imagine that other wrestling fans, as well as some of the wrestlers on the roster, are just as excited as I am. I'm really hoping Vince keeps his hands off and lets Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff do their thing and run Raw and SmackDown as they see fit. I personally can't wait to see what changes are in store for both brands. Do you guys think that Vince McMahon will let these two run the shows their way, and when do you expect to see changes on Raw and SmackDown? Drop us a comment below and let us know. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, 5 banned WWE wrestlers Vince McMahon secretly wants back and 5 banned wrestlers Triple H wants back. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.